Hello booktube friends, this week I am going to be challenging myself to read 4 books in 1 week. I wanted to do this because I wanted to challenge myself, and I also just wanted to read a whole lot of books. So we're going to talk about the books that I want to read. I have 4 of them here and they're all relatively short, so we're gonna talk about them for a second. I'm also going to do this in the order that I am going to read these books because I think the shorter books, like the shortest books, I'm going to leave till the end for whatever unforeseen circumstances, like if I have to go out of the, leave the house, go to an appointment, or if I'm feeling crappy and I can't read, so I'll just leave the shortest ones for last. This here is the first book I'm reading. This is The Water Cure by Sophie McIntosh. This book is 269 pages with acknowledgements. The book is about 3 sisters that are on an isolated island and they have been raised to fear men. It's kind of set in this here, I guess, apocalyptic world where basically the environment's gone to crap, and yeah, there's just some very mysterious things going on, so hopefully when I'm done this I will like it. I'm halfway through it, I'm liking it already, so yeah. Obviously this cover is so gorgeous. This has to be like one of my favorite book covers ever. And the next book is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. This here girl wakes up in the hospital. She can't see, she can't move, she can't speak. But she can hear everyone around her. Her husband doesn't love her anymore. And there's something going on with her husband and her sister that she doesn't really know about. So, yeah, it is a thriller. It's really short. This one is, let me see, it's 262 pages with acknowledgements. And the print is a decent size, so yeah, I picked shorter books for this because I figured it makes sense, because like if I picked longer books I probably wouldn't achieve any of this. Next book that I want to read is Agatha's Christie, Murder on the Orient Express. So yeah, this is basically about the famous Orient Express stops in its tracks by a snowdrift, and there's a millionaire that lies dead. He's stabbed to death. There's 13 suspects, and Detective Hercule Poirot has to figure out who killed the guy. This is also a very good movie. I really enjoyed this movie, but I just haven't read the book yet. This one is 265 pages, and the print is actually pretty small on this. So I'm very excited to read this. This will actually be my first Agatha Christie novel that I will ever be reading. And the last book is the shortest, but one I've been wanting to read for a while. This is A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine. I don't know how to describe this novel. There's alternate universes. Her father goes missing. I've seen the movie, but like the concept of the book is like very sciencey and like string theory-y, like it's a confusing one, but hopefully it'll be good. The print is super big, and this is 232 pages. I should be able to get to this one pretty quick. That's why I'm saving it for last. So those are all the books I will be reading. Hopefully this actually works out. So yeah, I'm actually halfway through The Water Cure right now. Yeah, this is just, it's not your typical dystopian. This is like very lyrical. It's just really beautiful writing, and that's why I love it. But the world that it's set in is just so ominous and kind of creepy. There's like cult stuff going on. Very strange. So hopefully once I'm done reading each of these books, I will give my thoughts on them and kind of review them. So yeah, I am just gonna read now because I really want to read this book. Hopefully I will be able to finish this today. It is now 9 o'clock. I've been reading for a few hours. I am on page 195, so I have approximately 70 pages left, so I should totally be able to finish that tonight. Yeah, so far I'm really loving the story. I love the kind of underlying sinister atmosphere and just the tension, the eeriness. I really love it so far. I'm hoping if the ending's good and if I like the rest of the book, this will probably be one of my favorite books that I've read this year thus far. It's just, I really love the writing. I like the characters. I like the setting, like everything about it. I'm really loving so far. I mean, I have a few issues with like any book, but like it's pretty good. Also, this is like the same category as like dystopian feminist fiction. It's like, it falls under the same category, The Handmaid's Tale, and I wasn't a fan of The Handmaid's Tale. I can see the value in the story for what it is and how scary it is, but I wasn't a fan of the actual book. If you didn't like The Handmaid's Tale, you might like this one, because I feel like the writing isn't as, it's more flowery and more prosy than The Handmaid's Tale was. I didn't like the writing Handmaid's Tale. I'm gonna read until I'm finished, which I'll probably be finished reading this probably around 1 o'clock at the latest. Hopefully. We'll see how distracted I get. Alright friends, so it is now 12:50 at night. I finished this book an hour ago. I really did not want this book to end. It was so good. This book immediately needs to be made into a TV show. Like, I need to see a TV show of this book. It was so good. I really, really enjoyed this book. This is a 5-star book for me. It's probably one of my favorite books that I've read all year. Possibly favorite book of all time, kind of. You know, favorite of the favorites. Now that I've read it, the best way that I can describe this book is basically these girls, these 3 sisters, were all kind of raised on this isolated island by a man called King and their mother. So they are raised to fear men. A lot of women come to the island who are kind of, I guess the best way I can describe this is they're sick, but a lot of the women in this book, and I guess in this here dystopian society, are just hysterical. That's what I immediately think of when reading this, that they, you know, you think of like 18 and 1900s when women were being diagnosed as being hysterical. That's what I kind of think of in this book. Apparently, I don't know if it's gonna be a spoiler or not, but like men have, I guess they don't have the ability, but I guess women think that men make them sick, and really that sickness is basically just a love, or basically women fearing men. A lot of the men in this world are presumed to be bad and dangerous and killing women, and women have reason to fear for their lives. So it is, I guess if you were someone looking at this from the outside in, you would see this as a very man-hating kind of book. I kind of get where they're going with this, where, I mean, women are just kind of fed up with men killing them, raping them, hurting them, and so they just kind of separate themselves from the men. There's like this place called the border, and I guess men live on one side while women live on the other, so that women can protect themselves. So yeah, and basically 3 men arrive on the island, 2 older men and a little boy. Some stuff goes down. One of the girls falls in love with one of the men. The man doesn't treat her right, kind of thing, and yeah, some sinister stuff happens. And also the girls in this book, because they were raised on this isolated island, it's kind of like they're part of this here cult-like experiment where they do these here dangerous therapies where they try to heal their traumas, something like that. Like, it's really weird, it's really cult-like, it's really dangerous. The girls are kind of in competition with one another. The one girl really ends up resenting and hating her sisters, but ultimately still loving her sisters. Like, it's just really weird. But there's just, their parents, King and their mother, are just seriously abusive to these girls. But overall, this was just such a good, sinister, very atmospheric, eerie read, and I really, really enjoyed this. I liked this so much better than The Handmaid's Tale. Like, I think the writing is more palpable than what The Handmaid's Tale was. As I was saying before, like, Handmaid's Tale was just stiff and cold, and the writing in here is more prosy, it's more kind of flowery and lyrical, so I really like that a lot better. Favorite book that I've read in quite a while. I mean, I had a few favorites last month too, but this is probably like favorite of the year. I would definitely read this again. I would definitely never give this book away because I love it so much. This is definitely a 5-star read for me. I would be really interested in reading more by this author, Sophie McIntosh. Tomorrow I will be reading Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. So yeah, I've heard mixed things about that thriller, but I mean it was $3 at the dollar store, so I got it. So I guess I will probably see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so it is Thursday. This is the second day of me trying to read 4 books in 1 week. So last night I finished The Water Cure and I loved it. Today it is now 7 o'clock at night and I'm going to start reading Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney is like 262 pages, I think. So the synopsis of the book is Amber Reynolds wakes up in a hospital. She can't move, she can't speak, she can't open her eyes. She can hear everyone around her, but they have no idea. Amber doesn't remember what happened to her, but she has a sneaking suspicion that her husband had something to do with it, or her sister, or maybe both. Is something really a lie if you believe it's the truth? Let's see by the end if I am shocked about the twist. I haven't read, well actually that's not true, I read a thriller last week, what am I saying? But I haven't read too many thrillers lately. I'm typically a person who just watches a lot of true crime shows that are like thriller based and psychological and stuff like that, so it's kind of hard to shock me in thrillers. So we shall see if I end up being shocked or if I end up guessing it, because I'm pretty good at guessing the ending sometimes. I'm actually quite excited for this one. I mean, I've heard mixed opinions, but I'm always excited to start a new thriller. I love them. Hello friends, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just getting ready and getting cozy and trying to go to sleep. I forgot to update you on my book progress, so I had to stop reading at around 11:30, 12 o'clock-ish because I had a migraine coming on and my migraine was like in the base of my neck, so it was really hard for me to actually look down at the page and read because I could feel my migraine going all the way into the back of my eyes and going across my face. So as you can imagine, pretty painful. I had to stop reading. I had to take my pain medication, and then I just kind of laid in bed and watched TV kind of thing. So I didn't get as much reading done as I would have liked to. I think I'm on like page 63 of this book. So far it's pretty good. It's like pretty slow starting for a thriller. I gotta lay down, I'm so tired. For a thriller, I was expecting it to be maybe a little bit more fast-paced at this point, especially where she's in the hospital. We're just kind of like finding out some things about her and stuff, so I mean it's kind of just boring details. This is one of the reasons why I don't like psychological thrillers as much, is because you have to go through people's kind of life, and it's like sometimes the details of their life is just like, dude, I don't want to hear about this. I just want to know what the heck is going on with this mystery kind of thing. Like, you know? That's kind of why I prefer police procedural, because there's typically less personal stuff and more of the actual gritty crime stuff. So, yeah. It's just kind of tedious to read through that. It's not a favorite. But it is good so far. We're just finding out some things. I think I'm gonna go to bed now. Hello friends. So today is now Saturday the 13th of April. Last clip you saw, I had a migraine. I had taken my pills. Migraine went away. It didn't last very long and it came back again around probably 3 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't able to get back to sleep until like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I had a terrible sleep, and then I ended up sleeping all day yesterday because of the migraine. I didn't get any reading done yesterday because I still had it when I woke up. I'm a little bit behind in this reading now. This is why I wanted to read the big books first, because I was scared if I read the smaller books really quick that I just have to like slog through the bigger books, but I think it's best that I left the smaller books for last. I'm like 200 pages in this book and it's just getting twisty. It's just getting interesting. I have about 60-ish pages left. If the book was any longer, I would have DNF'd it at like 200 pages because it was just kind of dull. I finally finished Sometimes I Lie. This was so average. I don't know, with the claims that it was like a shocking and twisty thriller, you expected it to be shocking and twisty, which at times it was, but it was only until like the later half of the novel when everything, well, not even the later half, like the later quarter of the novel, until everything was like unraveling. And I kind of hate it when thrillers do that. Like, they have the boring stuff for the like first chunk, and then all the little you know, twists and stuff are at the end. Like, why can't you just have like a twist here and a twist there, and then, you know, a few more at the end? Like, I just, that's what frustrates me about thrillers sometimes. But with this one, I say it is a bit different in the aspect of the sisters' relationship. That's different, but again, you kind of have like the crazy ex-boyfriend, the crazy sister, dead parents. The main girl in the story, Amber, feels like her parents didn't love her, or always loved her sister more than her. So yeah, you have that. And then yeah, I mean, it was okay. I seen a lot of the twists coming, which I always hate that for thrillers and me. I don't know, I'm really good at figuring out twists and turns and what's gonna happen next, because I just watch so much crime shows and stuff that like, it just, you know, things get played out. I saw a lot of twists coming. Some of them were original and, you know, surprising, but then a lot of them just were like, you know, I've seen that before kind of thing. So overall, I guess I should touch on the beginning of the story, because I kept thinking like, God, this is gonna be one of those books that the twists don't happen until like the last 15 pages, which is pretty much the case. The beginning of the book is like so ridiculously boring. It's not the most boring book I've ever read for a thriller, but it was so slow. The parts where Amber was going to work were just super boring. They were so freaking boring. Her relationship with her husband, kind of boring. Relationship with her sister, weird. With her parents as well. The parts that I really loved in this book were the journal entries, but I think with those journal entries, it left too many clues for the reader to figure out the plot and the plot twists before they were going to happen, which was kind of annoying. Because you want that to kind of, I mean, when you read a thriller like this, it's supposed to be shocking and twisty and turny. You kind of expect that you're going to have a shock that you didn't think of, and I probably guessed like 3 out of the 5 major twists. So yeah, overall the writing's okay. It's just the beginning, it's kind of boring, super mundane, really played out tropes, especially with like her having a whole lot of anxiety and alcoholism and family troubles. I feel like that's so ridiculously overplayed in thrillers, and especially psychological thrillers nowadays. So yeah, I typically don't like seeing that, especially like the alcoholism and like weird family relationships. Like sometimes it's not done right and it's just way too overplayed. And yeah, I think I could have done, I don't know, the beginning of the book was just so boring for me. So yeah, this is just, like I said, average. And yeah, probably a 2.5 to a 3 star. By the time I edit this video, whatever rating I put up, that's probably my final rating, because like, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, it was okay. Also, the likability of the characters. I really hated both main characters. I didn't like Amber, and I did not like her sister Claire. I didn't like either of them. So that didn't make it any easier to read. I'm more of a plot-based reader, and I really don't care about characters, but if they're annoying, then it gets on my nerves, obviously. But yeah, this is probably a 2.5 to a 3 star. Hello friends! So today is the 14th of April. It is Sunday now, so I have 3 days left of this here reading challenge, and I think I'm going pretty well with it. So today we are starting Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. It's a pretty short book, like it's so small. This one is 265 pages, so it's about the same length as Sometimes You Lie by Alice Feeney. The pages are smaller, so I'll probably get through this quicker. I hope to read half of this today, maybe even more if I can. We'll see. Yesterday, I said I was gonna sit down and hopefully get through half of this book. There's no bookmark. I didn't read it all yesterday. Yeah, after I like ate my breakfast, and by the time I tried to start reading, I started to feel really terrible, and I had to put my book down, and I just basically binge watched YouTube all day long. Yeah, just yesterday, like, my head was so fuzzy that I just couldn't think straight. I think it was just, I was going through like a bit of a Lyme flare there. I woke up, my throat was really sore, and then I just started feeling worse and worse, and my head was just so fuzzy. I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't think. I just wasn't in the mood to read. So today we're going to attempt to try to get through as much of this book as possible, as tomorrow is Tuesday, and then I'll have hopefully half of this book, and then we'll get to A Wrinkle in Time, which will be really short. That's why I saved the shortest one for last, because I knew this was going to happen. So yeah, hopefully I can read this and get through most of it, so I will see you guys soon, hopefully. Okay friends, today is Tuesday. It is the last day of this trying to read 4 books in 1 week challenge. So I am currently halfway through the Murder on the Orient Express. I tried to read as much of this last night as I possibly could. When my mom and sister came home, I just ended up binge watching movies for a while. So I pretty much read this book until 3 o'clock in the morning. So I got halfway. I should be able to definitely finish this today. I find that I'm like really flying through this book. Hopefully we can get these books read today. I have finally read Murder on the Orient Express, and I was able to get through this book pretty quickly, so I'm really glad about that. I've already seen the movie, so I kind of know what happens, but even if I didn't see the movie before reading the book, I feel like this is just such an underwhelming mystery. Hercule Poirot, I don't know where the heck he comes up with his ideas. He just kind of comes up with them out of nowhere, and they're kind of unrealistic and improbable, and he basically creates his own murder, if you know what I mean. Like, it's kind of weird. That's my 2 cents. I'd probably rate this at like a 2.5. It honestly wasn't that great. I'm hoping that when I read Death on the Nile, it'll be much better. But yeah, this one was just I don't know. I don't know how I completely feel about this one. It just wasn't anything great. I didn't really love it. It was okay. I actually think the movie's so much better. And the movie provides a lot more suspense and drama than the book actually did. The book just kind of feels flat and boring, and the twists and, you know, the shock and the reveal isn't much, and then the ending is very abrupt. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it. I'm going to go take a bath, And then I'm going to move on to reading A Wrinkle in Time, which I should finish tonight. Alrighty friends, it is 2:40 at night. I just got done reading A Wrinkle in Time. Yeah. Very quick read, which I'm thankful for because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. This book here is something I would have loved as a child. So yeah, I really like this story. I really like the science fiction aspect of it. It is a hard story to describe because of the science fiction aspect and like time and space weirdness that goes on with it, but yeah, I think I'm so tired I just can't describe it, but I really enjoyed this. This is probably my second favorite book on this list. I would probably give this like a 3.5 to a 4 star. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like was Meg's character at times. I know that she's dealing with some issues and stuff, but she was just so frustratingly annoying at times and just angry and upset for really no reason. That was the only thing I didn't like. The language is a bit different because this was written in like the 60s and you have this boy in this book who says "oh golly" all the time, and it was kind of annoying and weird, and I just kind of laughed, but yeah. Still really good story. The movie is a lot different from the book in a few ways. Like there's like scenes in this here book that aren't in the movie, and worlds that are completely different. Like I feel like they changed the plot a lot with the movie to make it more watchable for viewers, which I can understand. But yeah, the movie's definitely different from the book. Overall, it was a really good book. The movie's still great. I would really recommend you to watch that. It's a pretty decent movie. But because I am going to be editing this here video super soon, I just want to go over the books that I read and talk about them. So my favorite book undoubtedly was The Water Cure by Sophie McIntosh. I really love this book and I really recommend you to read it. I really enjoyed this. This is probably one of my favorite books that I read in 2019 thus far, and you probably will be seeing this in my favorites of 2019, and this will probably make my favorite books of all time kind of list because I really did enjoy this book a lot. I'm happy that I enjoyed it as much as I did because I was scared it was going to disappoint me like The Handmaid's Tale. But it didn't, and I absolutely love it. So, this is a 5-star. Second favorite book would have to be A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine Longley. I just got done talking about this, but like, I felt this was a really great children's book. I love the story. I love a lot of the science fiction aspect, the metaphorical aspect. Like, yeah, this is just such, I think, a unique children's story as well. Like, you wouldn't think to read a children's story like this, you would kind of think it would just be simple, but this book is actually kind of complicated in the science fiction aspects. I'm getting too tired to talk. Aspects that it deals with. I really like that about this. My third favorite is The Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This is just, it's not anything special, unfortunately. Hercule Poirot is just kind of a know-it-all, and he just kind of basically comes up with motives out of his ass. But yeah, I much preferred the movie. He wasn't as, in the movie he wasn't as like superior, and he was just more detective-y, but in this he just feels like a superior a-hole. So yeah, I am a little apprehensive now of reading other Hercule Poirot mysteries. So yeah, this is just, I can't even remember what I rated this as. This is probably like a 2.5. I mean, the story's good, but like the ending is just so abrupt and like, meh, like it was just, yeah, no. And my least favorite book was Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. Honestly, I read this a few days ago and I already forget my thoughts on this because that's just how forgettable this book is. I didn't like the main character. I figured out a lot of the plot twists. Tired tropes. Boring story until the later third. Underwhelming. Average. Not impressed with this one. I think that's the lowest I've ever rated a thriller, and thrillers are like usually my favorite, but this one was just, oh my god, you just slog through so much crap to get to the ending, and the ending you've already figured out through like the diary entries and through what the characters already, like you could see it coming from like a mile away, like you just figure everything out. And yeah, when I read a thriller, I love to be shocked and I love to be not figuring it out, or if I am reading a story where like there's the perspective of like the killer or whatever and then the detective, then I like to see how the detectives figure that out. But like with this, it's just so frustratingly average. And yeah, it was a quick read. But I didn't really enjoy myself, and I just, like, I saw everything coming. I mean, come on. But yeah, this was, what did I rate this? A 2-star, I think. I'm, like, it's a stretch to say that I enjoyed it. I mean, I wanted to see what happened and how it would end, because I thought I'd be surprised, but I wasn't. So yeah, those are all the 4 books that I read in a week. So this has been quite the challenge. I don't think I could have done the 24-hour reading challenge because I think I'm just too slow of a reader to do that. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know, and maybe I'll make one of these videos every few months or whatever. So yeah, if you have read any of these books, then let me know in the comments below because I'd love to know your thoughts on them. Yeah, if you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like it. My Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter will all be in the links below. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.